So I want to answer the other question, which was, but what about when I feel that desperation, I feel that urgency, I feel that need and want and desperate desire for an outcome. I need to know where it's going, right? So always that's a fear-based thing, right? And there's always that kind of experience. There's lots of beliefs and assumptions that are in operation, and also there is your attachment system is being lit up, and there is a chemical component to attachment experiences. There's at least 4 chemicals, especially if you're in an anxious, avoidant, trap situation, that are in operation when you are in a relationship like that. Okay, so it is an addictive experience on a biochemical level. So if you are in a relationship and whatever you need to feel safe and secure in that relationship, you don't feel like is quite there, then you're going to, when you experience this person and when you're in the vicinity, you're taking a hit. You're getting a hit, right? You're getting high. And that means that subsequent to that experience, you're going to have a crash. So how do I stop feeling this way? And so then we've kind of got this paradigm where it's like, oh, I just saw them. Now I feel this urgency to want more of them and get more of them. And the more I get, the more I want. And there's this kind of energy going on, right? And so my practices aren't to try to calm you down, to make you feel less in those situations. Not at all. What my practices are intended to help you do is to let yourself have that feeling, but also at the same time to be able to achieve a sense of awareness around it. In time, it will run its course, but to encourage you not to just be doing this, but while you're doing this, also be doing the other things that your more, let's say, observant self is aware of that feed you. So rather than hungering and reaching like this, you're also feeding yourself. The energy is not all going out, out, out. It's also coming in, right? In ways that serve your source energy and connection. In the moment, sometimes what helps with this is when you take the feeling you're experiencing and you hyper-exaggerate it. Get into your body. And if you're feeling like, oh my God, I need to know, I can't, like there's all these underlying beliefs like, I can't feel this way unless I have them. It feels so good when I'm with them, and now I'm so lonely and empty and wanting and yearning. Exaggerate that. Feel it first. Okay, so just be like, and really bring it into your body. Just be like, if you're like, oh, I'm so mad, he won't call me. Like just really exaggerate it. I'm so mad, he's not calling me. He's not giving me what I want. Like, get into it. Just be like, that jerk, how can he be so great and then so confusing? Like, get into it. Right? If you need to fall to the floor, fall to the floor. Fall to the floor. Kick your arms and you're like, yeah! Right? Ah! Do it. Do it, do it, do it. And do it in a safe place. Okay? Because you're not going to feel comfortable doing this in front of anyone. But do it in a safe place. Do it in a place where you get to be like that. Where no one's going to call you too needy or burdensome or wanting things that you are not appropriate to want, blah, blah, blah. Get into it. Get into it. Oh, I'm so this, I'm so that, like, he doesn't want me. I'm not enough. Why can't I be enough for him? I need him. Like, or her, right? Or her, or whatever pronoun you're using. Just embody it. Embody it. Get into it. Move. Feel it. Just like be it. Be identified with it. Fall to the floor. Flail around. Throw shit. Break shit. Do what you gotta do. Okay? And then you'll come to this place where either you start laughing at yourself because you can't help it, or you fall into a heap and you start crying. And the energy is you've given into it. You've given into it. But you've made a choice. You made a choice to do that. You found a safe place in which to do it. That's what a parent does for a child. That's what you are going to do for your inner child. And you will find that if you stop fighting it and you stop looking for the out and you stop trying to find the next tool that's going to make you not have to feel that way, you don't have to go through all that work. You just gotta let it out and find a safe place in which to do it. Because if you don't find a safe place in which to do it, then that will come out. But it will come out in a slow titration, and it will look like passive aggression, and it will look like protest behaviors, and it will look like activating strategies, and it will look like, or deactivating strategies, and it will look like playing little emotional mind games, and it will look like posting questions in a Facebook group asking about the exact words to text someone with no contact to get them to contact you, right? So it comes out in these little ways. It's like little emotional leakages. Don't let that control you. Just let it out. Be it. Become it. Tantrum, girl. Tantrum. Let it out. Be that manipulative, emotional little whining brat. Just do it. Embrace it. Right? Yeah, that's right. And just like feel how much of you comes back. Like feel how much of you comes up. Because even in me just like acting this out right now, I feel so much more energy and power coursing through me. And and the paradox is the feelings that I was just expressing were an exaggeration of what you would assume is the exact opposite of feeling empowered. But once you like let it, you become it in a safe way, then it's not so scary anymore, right? Okay, well, if I start to feel whiny, yearny, and desperate, then I will. And then I don't have to be afraid of it anymore. Right? The next step then, once you feel like you've gotten to a place where enough of that has been titrated and or expressed, now we can start what they call, we can do bottom-up processing, which is where if you're feeling that way, then it's likely you're activated, and there's a I really got some energy moving here. My feet are tingling right now. You start moving that upwards into the level of consciousness. So, you can't go from being in that tantruming state to, be consciously aware and behave like someone who isn't wrapped up in their ego attachments. And you have to be this, this, and this, and this, right? Not right away. You got to take your baby steps there. Okay. So first feel it. Then now when you feel like you're ready, right? When you feel like you're ready and that part of you is open and willing to listen, now we can step into a focus wheel to start shifting the trajectory of that momentum. Okay. And that of course is the first step, is to just identify what it is that you are wanting in an external way. And usually the external want is some focus for the satisfaction of a need that's based on a fear-based belief. So first, what is the external want? I want them to call me. I want them to give me the commitment I deserve, or the commitment that I want. What is the external want? I want a partner, otherwise I don't think I can be happy. I want this specific person, because otherwise I don't think I can be happy. Step 2 is to take a look at what is the false premise that belies that want. For someone who's single and they're dating, it could sound something like they're afraid, they don't want to date, or they're afraid of dating, or they're clinging to a partner that it's just not working out with because they have a fear that if they get out there and they try to meet someone else, then they're going to get attached too quickly, and then they're going to get hurt, and it's going to happen all over again. Or I'm not capable of meeting my own needs well enough that I'm not going to become overly dependent on someone. For someone who's already partnered, it might sound something like, if I touch this, I'll break it. And if I break it, then my whole life is going to be turned upside down. So then the third step is noticing what the desire actually is on the backside of those fears. And usually it's the polar opposite of whatever it is that you believe. So if I'm afraid of ending up alone, then my true desire must be to find a partner. The true desire is more feeling and believing that you can be on fire about life in or out of partnership. and that you are just overflowing with such an abundance of love and resources, regardless of whether or not you're in partnership, that when you find a partner, it's just like the icing on the cake. I can experience dating as a fun, playful, and exploratory process without getting too wrapped up in outcomes and worrying about where it's going, and without being emotionally closed off or inaccessible to my partners. There is some safe play space in between where it does not have to be all or nothing. You might say, I have a complete control over my emotional availability and how authentically I'm going to show up in this relationship. And I believe that there are positive outcomes available to us, and those are as inevitable as any negative outcome. And I want to address the ruptures between us because that's where the deepest growth is actually possible, and therefore an expansion of intimacy that I'm yearning for. And so the last step is to actually install those beliefs. So as we kind of demonstrated at the beginning of this call, installing beliefs is all about bringing it into the body. So if we start with the body and its expression of emotions, and we then exaggerate those emotions, much more quickly, you start laughing at yourself, because your observant self can't help but see that it's endearing in a way. It's endearing in a way, right? And you also become very aware of how it doesn't actually have to be in charge. Okay, it's just information, not to be ignored, suppressed, or discarded or denied, but also not to be put in charge. And when you position those emotions in either role, you suppress, whatever, blah blah, deny, it ends up in charge anyway, right? So let's just put it in charge for a moment and see what happens, and you realize the ridiculousness of that as well. So it's just information that you can use. I actually feel like anything you do that embodies, that's going to get your body moving, both sides of your body, because now we're activating both sides of the brain, and we're working with bilateral stimulation, which evidence-based practices and EMDR protocols and in other trauma treatment recommendations show is what helps change those synaptic grooves and pathways in your brain. So definitely whatever you do, you want it to be somaticized. And creative modalities, I think, is the best and most fun way to do that. But you can also do other things like EFT tapping, emotional technique, where you tap acupressure points, right? Or you could do acupuncture. And you say the dramatic words, I'll never find someone, I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, I don't feel like I'm good enough. And you do your tapping points, and you just keep repeating it until the feeling kind of titrates itself. And then you install the positive ones. I am perfectly capable of finding love, and all of the love and the source energy I need exists within me. And any relationship I find is going to expand myself into new realms of possibility, but is only a surplus of what I already know that I am connected to on all levels, right? So you can decide how you want to do that. Like, desensitization is more like EMDR is like moving the eyes while you say it, or tapping, right? Tapping in the legs. But it's about activating your body, really. That's the installation process.